side are you on in this war?
Barack Obama obviously is a murderer of Muslims, so how can I be with him?
If a young British Muslim were to seek your counsel and said he was considering to join the fight with the Islamic State, to go over to Syria, Iraq, would you try and talk him out of it, or would you encourage him to go?
Why shouldn't Muslims travel wherever they are in the world to stand with their brethren?
It's what the Islamic State is doing to the Yazidis and Arab Christians. Do you support that?
They're inviting them to Islam, and if they don't embrace Islam, they can live under the Sharia. Whether the Barack Obamas and the Camerons like it or not, it's coming to a place near you.
Do you support violence to achieve the goal of a worldwide ummah?
The Khilafah, or the Islamic State, will remove the obstacles in the way of implementing the Sharia outside of its own frontiers. So I believe that there are certain ways in which the government would be removed.
Recent revelations about the Pakistani Muslim rape gangs in Rotherham. Were those rapes un-Islamic?
You know, when you reduce human beings to, inhumane, sex objects, then of course they will be exploited.
Mr. Choudary, you're saying this. What about the admonition to Muslim men that if their women are not obedient, that they may beat them with a miswak or another stick?
We try to avoid violence as much as possible.
Is there any Muslim country in the world that would let you criticize their government the way the Christian Western governments treat you?
Under an apartheid system, we are having our passports taken and be made citizenless.
Do you think the Queen should wear a niqab?
No, I would say to her to embrace Islam and to save herself and her children from the hellfire.
Those are some clips. Many of you saw the full interview that I did with London Imam Anjem Choudary. He blames America for the rise of Islamic extremism and says whether you like it or not, Sharia law is coming to a place near you. Well, Sunday's contributor Tarek Fatah joins me in studio with more. Tarek, welcome to the show. I got a question for you. I'm not sure if I did the right thing. I felt like debating and pushing back and fighting with them point after point. But I also thought, well, I've got 15 minutes with him. Maybe I don't want to waste time haggling. I just want to pull him onto the record. What do you think?
I think you did quite well, but you should have asked him a crucial question that you missed out, which is, where does he stand on the doctrine of armed jihad? You asked him about violence, which is very easy to say, no, I'm against violence, But the critical question to be asked for any Muslim is, where do you stand on the doctrine of jihad, which is a fundamental pillar of Islam as a state? And the moment you figure out people are, dilly-dallying around it, you know where they stand.
And just to clarify, I think most of our viewers know what jihad means. Can you put it in the plainest English words? When you say jihad, what does Anjem Choudary mean by jihad?
Well, there's a meaning and there's a connotation. The meaning of the word jihad is struggle. The connotation of the word jihad is to wage holy war, to implement the agenda of every Muslim, which is to ensure and work towards the conversion of entire globe to the faith of Prophet Muhammad.
You're right. I asked about violence, but I didn't use the word jihad. Can I show you a clip? To me, the most telling moment. I mean, here's a guy born in the UK. He's not from Pakistan.
By the way, his name is Andy when he was partying.
Yeah. You know what? It was only after that interview that I saw pictures of him in college. He loved drinking. He loved the naked ladies. He was very un-Sharia back then. But here's a guy who has had every luxury, every gift of the liberal West given to him, but he condemns the West. I asked him, I think, a pretty basic question. Do you love your country? And let me show you the clip of how he answered that. I thought this was appalling. Take a look. Do you love the United Kingdom, Mr. Choudary? Do you love the UK?
Allah created, Allah created
You're dancing around all my questions.
I love the earth that Allah created.
Do you love the government? Do you love the country?
The earth which Allah created. The land is beautiful, the animals are beautiful, the authority
Would you ever say God save the Queen? Have you ever said God save the Queen?
But that applies to the whole world.
I don't know if you heard it. We were sort of cross-talking. He said he loves the earth
and the animals.
And he loves the animals. So you've been living in this country. I think he was born in '67. Yeah. So he's coming up on 50 years old.
He likes the goats.
He's 47 years old. You've been living amongst people in your home country that you were born in, and you cannot pull yourself to say you love your country. You can say, I hate the government, but... No, but he won't even see, he just doesn't like the country.
The Islamists don't recognize any country. They don't recognize Pakistan or Saudi Arabia. I think most of the West is missing out on this issue, and that's why Barack Obama will fail in his initiative. You cannot grasp this notion that none of them accept boundaries of nations or ethnicities.
Because they don't believe in those man-made structures. They believe in one Muslim ummah,
yes,
one Muslim people.
Despite the fact that the Quran is explicit, where God says, we created you into nations and tribes. The recognition of nations and tribes is intrinsic in the Quran. But their notion of what a Muslim or what Muslim narrative should be comes from the Islamic State. It doesn't come from a religion which is the moral compass. Far from it. I think most of them are liars. They would cheat on welfare. They would cheat on declaring their second wife as a sister. One of the most worthless characters that lives on earth today is the Islamist jihadi fighter. And the tragedy is, or the irony is, that he's invoking religion to justify or validate his crookedness.
Yeah, because if you believe that everything in the West is corrupt and immoral and counter to God's will, then what do you care if you lie on your welfare
Absolutely.
form? What do you care if you break their laws of men? If you're following the jihad, who cares what these usurpers and pretenders say?
It's called financial jihad. Cheating the state of taxes or cheating on welfare is financial jihad.
Because you're draining the beast.
You're draining the enemy.
Yeah,
they've convinced themselves that if they cheat on their taxes and do the black market or organize crime gangs, they are weakening the structure of an infidel state.
Incredible. Tarek, we're out of time today, but I'm glad to have you on the show. I don't know if it was worth interviewing him. I learned
it
from
was,
him.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Well, I think maybe we exposed a little bit of him, but he might have exposed radicals to his ideas. Who knows? Maybe he got a recruit out of it. I hope not. Thanks for being with us today, Tarek.